Hello folks, my name is Erik Klein and welcome to my redo of our Festivus Board of Directors introduction and year in review. Apologies for the audio issues that we had during Festivus Live. Hopefully I remember everything I said then so that I can give you an overview of what the board is, what we do, what we've done for the past year. And I think I'll probably start with an introduction of the folks that are actually on the board. At the beginning of the year, our board consisted of Michael Brutman, Jeff Brace, Corey Cohen, Dag Spicer, and myself. And as of the end of last month, Mike has resigned his position, mostly due to the fact that we've kind of lost our PNW show. And he has been replaced by Bob Roswell as of last week. So welcome, Bob, and thank you, Mike, for all of the stuff that you've done for our board and for our organization and for our hobby over the course of the time that you've been here, which has been several years. Mike is best known, I think, for having moderated, administered our Vintage Computer forums, and he's been doing that for years and years and years. He took the burden off of me, and I was forever grateful. Since I'm mentioning that, we are always looking for additional volunteers throughout the organization, but especially on those forums. So if you're interested in helping administer or moderate the forums, please let somebody on the board know. Mike was also responsible for bringing us off of some of our older systems for email and for documentation and whatever else, and bringing us into a comprehensive Google suite. Being a Googler himself, he's somewhat familiar with those things, and he made us join the world of Google with all of the Google Docs and Sheets and all of our email lists and such being in that realm. He was also the showrunner for our Pacific Northwest show and did an excellent job with that show until, unfortunately, COVID affected not only the show but our venue. And the LCM, Living Computer Museum and Labs, has effectively shut down. Which means that we've kind of lost our venue for the Pacific Northwest show, which means we, instead of doing it in a ballroom at a hotel, we're probably just going to scrap that show, at least for now. In addition to the Pacific Northwest show, of course, the board oversees a series of other shows. We've got VCF East, which I think most of you are most familiar with. We've also got West, which was the original VCF, and the aforementioned PNW, and our Italia show, which sort of falls under our umbrella as well. Unfortunately, again, due to COVID, this has been one heck of a year, has it not? We ended up going virtual with all of our shows. PNW did sort of an off VCF, an off Federation virtual show that Mike helped out with that sort of led the way. Italia did a really nice virtual version of their show and meet and greet and so on and so forth, and that inspired us to follow through with VCF West going virtual. I ended up hosting that on the same starting day for the VCF West show in August, and then of course Jeff hosted the VCF East virtual show, which was even better still and an amazing accomplishment for the year. In addition to the shows, one of the things that the board also does is sort of run the organization on the whole. And as part of that, at the beginning of the year, we set up the steering committee to run the museum and all of the functions around the museum. So the warehouse, our docents, tours, and so on and so forth. And that board has been doing great. We've got elections that have just concluded, and we're looking forward to seeing how that stuff develops. We're also responsible for sort of planning for the future of the Federation. The goal, of course, is to continuously expand our role in the hobby and expand the hobby for people worldwide. We've added the Italy show in the last couple of years, and we've got a pretty good relationship with all of the other VCFs, whether or not they're under our umbrella. And we've now been working for most of this year on a business plan, kind of a 5-year plan, to get ourselves into the future, increase our scope, increase our contact, increase our fundraising, and hopefully increase the organization as a whole. As part of that fundraising, we've been talking about things like improving our prop rentals and improving our consulting work with movies and TV and so on and so forth. And we're also talking about things like VCF membership that we'll hopefully be able to introduce in the coming year. Um, Beyond that, the Federation Board will continue to sort of monitor all of the efforts that the Federation is involved in, from shows to our bulletin boards to our social media presence to whatever else we get ourselves involved in. And we are always looking for input and always looking for feedback. So anyone within the sound of my voice can please let us know what you think, let us know how we're doing, and let us know where we can improve. With that, once again, I want to thank all of the members of the board, especially Mike on his departure, and I want to welcome Bob to the board, and looking forward to a fantastic 2021. Thank you.